This defendant received probation, but not forgiveness. With a history behind him and a gun involved, the judge made one thing clear: one violation, and he could face up to 20 years in prison.
Good morning, sir. You're Noah Mayfield. And Mr. Mayfield, you were previously in court and entered a plea of guilty to the second-degree felony offense of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. I've received pre-sentence report. Has everyone had an opportunity to review that report?
Have you?
Are there any additions or corrections or explanations? Mr. Lewis?
Yes, Judge. I spoke with my client about the conflict he had with PSN writing. So, from talking to him, there was some miscommunication. He was speaking with her about his version of events. That can happen. Because I think, like you said, he doesn't own a gun, but whether he had one.
I mean, the allegation's very clear.
Yes.
The allegations is you had a gun, showed it, you pointed it, didn't pull the trigger. Either you did or you didn't have that gun and do that. So just trying to play with semantics isn't going to do well on probation, okay? You're getting a probation after a crazy amount of criminal history, albeit very old. It's a lot. Are you on parole still from the last one?
40 years.
Right. I'm not good at math. I feel like I can do that much. So what's the status of parole? Is there a hold?
No. No.
There's not. Have you had a hearing?
Yes.
Right. Okay. So you went to ISF because of parole last year in 2024. Before or after this allegation? Crime was in March. You went to ISF in June. Did you successfully complete that program? Right. Did they let you go even with this detainer to ISF? Okay. You still okay with it, Mr. Smith? I'm wondering why there wasn't a felon in possession of a firearm case.
I can't do it.
I mean, you can obviously tell, Mr. Mayfield, that I'm not loving all of this. Your criminal history, the fact that you were on parole, the fact that you had a gun while you were a felon. For some reason, that didn't get filed. That's not my lane. I can't tell why that didn't happen. You're trying to kind of play around with your words on whether or not you did this or not. If I follow this agreement and place you on probation, I just want to make sure you understand it will be absolutely zero tolerance. There couldn't be a more zero tolerance than what you're going to be on. There will not be an I slipped up. There won't be I didn't have a ride. There won't be any. Zero. Or you will be back in here and I will have up to 20 years in prison to send you. Do you understand? And there's no reason for me not to do that if you're back in here, if you get this opportunity. So they didn't find the firearm. That's probably why they didn't do it. You were smart enough to hide it. What is this? This is no jail issue. All right, Mr. Mayfield, I'm going to find that you entered your plea of guilty freely and voluntarily. I'm going to find sufficient evidence to find you guilty. However, I'm going to follow the agreement, defer all proceedings, place you on probation for 10 years. You're ordered to pay a $1,000 fine and to follow all of the rules and conditions of probation. Again, you'll be on the high medium risk caseload, and it will be absolutely zero tolerance. So you get out, you do everything you're supposed to, you understand what's happening today and how good of an opportunity this is. The other side of that, though, is if you violate a single condition of your probation. I want probation. It doesn't matter what it is, in my opinion, administrative or otherwise. I want it filed, and you will be right back in here, and you'll be looking to go to prison for anywhere between 2 years and up to 20 years in prison. Do you understand? I'm handing you the trial court certification that shows this was an agreement that I filed, and so you've waived your right to appeal. Hope you take advantage of this opportunity, because if I take a look back at this and see that I did this today, I'm going to wonder why. So take advantage of this. You go back to the baby. Hold on one second. Good morning, sir. Are you Joseph Todd Gilbo? And will your client waive the formal reading of the indictment? Mr. Gilbo, in cause number 25, DCCR 0268, you're charged with the third-degree felony offense of impersonating a public servant from January 10th of 2025. And how do you plead to that charge? Are you pleading guilty freely and voluntarily? And are you pleading guilty because you did what they charged you with? I have here on the computer some documents, have your signature on them, that the state has marked as Exhibit Number 1. Before you signed these, did you go over them with Mr. Rojas? Do you fully understand them? And do you understand, if I follow the agreement that you've made with the district attorney, that you'll be waiving or giving up any right to appeal? And it looks like the agreement that you've reached is for a 4-year deferred probation, $500 fine, and you would be required to follow all of the rules and conditions of probation. Is that your understanding? All right, and you also understand, if you're not a U.S. citizen, a plea of guilty or no contest may result in your deportation, exclusion from admission to the country, or denial of naturalization under federal law.
Okay.
State tenders number 1.
No objection.
It's admitted. Is there any evidence that Mr. Gilbo is not competent?
No, yeah.
All right, sir, I'm going to find that you entered your plea of guilty freely and voluntarily, find that you're mentally competent and understand the nature and the consequences of your plea. And it looks, let me go back, it looks like the agreement that you've made is for a 4-year deferred probation and a $500 fine. Is that correct? Find sufficient evidence to find you guilty. However, I'm going to reset your case so that the probation department can do a pre-sentence report. That'll give me more information about you and your case, and then we'll come back later for sentencing. Mr. Hoffpower, what's the state's position with regard to a bond based on the nature of that plea agreement?
Well, it is I got it.
So, Mr. Gilbo, what I'm going to do based on the nature of your plea agreement is reduce your bond in your case to $1,000, but I'm going to make that a personal bond. That means you don't have to pay any money. You're just going to get released from custody, but there's several things that are very important about that. The first is that the very first thing you do when you're released is go to the probation department so they can start that report. If you don't show up where you're supposed to show up when you get released, then that's a violation of your bond. You'll be right back in custody, and I might not accept this plea agreement. Things could be much worse. The second thing is if you are arrested for anything between now and the time that you come back for sentencing, you run the risk of me not accepting the plea agreement. Do you understand? Obviously, you need to be here on that court date as well. You understand that? All right, probation's going to give you some paperwork to...
Deferred probation isn't a free pass. It's a second chance with strict conditions. In this courtroom, zero tolerance truly meant zero.
Okay? All right, we'll see you back at sentencing. You can go back with the bailiff. Good morning, sir. Are you Willie James Richards? And will your client waive the formal reading of the indictment? Sorry. Mr. Richards, in cause number 24, DCCR 1694, you're charged with the second-degree felony offense of indecency with a child by sexual contact from May 18th of 2024. And how do you plead to that charge? Are you pleading guilty freely and voluntarily? And are you pleading guilty because you did what they've charged you with? I'm sorry. I have here on the computer some documents that have your signature on them that the state has marked as Exhibit Number 1. Before you signed these, did you go over them with Ms. Holmes? Do you fully understand them? And do you understand if I follow the agreement that you've made with the district attorney that you will be waiving or giving up any right to appeal? And it looks like the agreement that you've reached is for a 10-year deferred probation. There would be a $500 fine, and you'll be required to follow any rules and conditions of probation. Do you understand? Do you also understand, if you're not a U.S. citizen, that a plea of guilty or no contest may result in your deportation, exclusion from admission to the country, or denial of naturalization under federal law? In addition, I have here a different document, which is your sex offender registration admonishment. And you've gone over with Ms. Holmes that because of the plea in this case, that you will be required to register as a sex offender. Is that correct? Yes. State Sentence Number 1. No objection. It's admitted. Is there any evidence that Mr. Richards is not competent? No, Your Honor. All right, so I'm going to find that you entered your plea of guilty freely and voluntarily. Find that you're mentally competent and you understand the nature and the consequences of that plea. Find sufficient evidence to find you guilty. However, I'm going to reset your case so the probation department can do a pre-sentence report. That'll give me more information about you and your case, and then we'll come back later for sentencing. On your way out of the courtroom today, you need to stop and talk to the probation officer, and she's sitting at that desk right there. All right? We'll see you back at sentencing. Good morning. You are Justin Lee? Speak up. And Mr. Lee, you're on probation for the third-degree felony offense of stalking, and a motion to revoke that probation was filed. We were here before. You entered pleas of not true to counts 1, 2, 3, and 4. I've received an updated report. Has everyone had an opportunity to review that report?
Yes, Your Honor.
Any additions or corrections to that report?
No, Your Honor. Yeah.
And so, Mr. Nichols, do you have witnesses with regard to any of those allegations?
Call Your Honor. Put something in the record.
Okay.
Justin King.
Say it again.
Benjamin King. Your Honor, President King is the complaint because the form of defense for the motion to revoke. Going back to April last year, trying to people in contact with them, something that we have. We sent letters to their home. They didn't get no answer, and they called back after leaving messages on the phone. So the investigator go to her last name and address where she's no longer living. Here she moved out of the county. We found we had no contact with her. She's in her office for monitoring of off communication. Therefore, I have a choice that the kidney case is calling 24 DCCR 070. So that case was the main basis of the education. So I really don't have any cooperation.
So are you going to file a dismissal of the motion to revoke as well?
Yes.
So, Mr. Lee, What's your relationship with this Dejanay King? What? Ex-girlfriend. So here's what's happening today, because she's not coming forward and they can't find her, is that case is going to be dismissed. You're still going to be on the probation, however, that you're already on. Condition of that probation is now going to be that you have no contact or communication with Dejanay King.
You're a child.
So,
Okay. Now she alleged it. It's not his job.
okay. So, no contact, no communication. That means obviously in person, but it also means any other way. So you can't email, text her. She can't give you permission, say, oh, I want to get back with you. It's all okay. And you go back to her. You're violating my order. You have to have my permission.
From firearm allegations to sex offender registration requirements, each case carried serious consequences. The message was consistent: probation is a privilege, not a right.